I have a habit of forgetting everything he has done before. I carry Tuesday like a burden and lose the count of so much more. The years he held me without asking, the quiet mercy no one saw, the door that opened right before me, before I even tried the door. So I stop, I make the list, I count the grace I nearly missed. Everything I forgot to count was still there counting me. The healing and the lifting up, the long and patient mercy. Let everything inside me say the name above all names. Everything I forgot to count was grace, just the same. He does not keep the record going the way I keep it on myself. He clears the ledger and starts over, and leaves the old one on the shelf. Of the forgiven and the finished, of the carried far away. So I will count the everyday, the one I nearly threw away. So I stop, I turn around and find the grace I almost drowned. Everything I forgot to count was still there counting me. The renewing and the redeeming, the crown of love I did not see. Let everything inside me rise and say the holy name. Everything I forgot to count is grace, just the same. The eagle gets its feathers back, and I am learning how to fly on the updraft of the mercies that have never once run dry. High as the sky above the ground is the love he holds for those who fear him. Far as the east has run from west is how far he moved what was against me. It is not what I deserved, it is the Father and the child. Everything I forgot to count was mercy all the while. Everything I forgot to count was still there counting me. The mourning and the healing and the love I could not see. Let everything inside me be the song that has no end. Everything I forgot to count will count for me again. I came carrying the whole collection, every item with its proper name. And the list was getting longer, and the list was getting heavier, and I brought it all the same. Not because I thought he wanted it, not because it gave me peace, but because I did not know yet what it meant to be released. He is the one who covers all of it, not the partial and the sum. Every single one, the weight that is already gone, I keep picking back up, but the one who took it from me has not handed back the cup. He heals the broken places, He redeems the downward road. The weight that is already gone does not have to be my load. My life was heading somewhere lower, past the place I meant to go, but a hand reached into the falling, and it caught me in the slow descent of the undone and scattered, and it pulled me toward the light. He redeemed my life from going under, and He crowned it overnight. Not the slow and conditional, but the all and done right now. Everyone somehow, the weight that is already gone. I keep reaching for the shelf, but the mercy that removed it is more patient than myself. He satisfies with good things, He renews like morning air. The weight that is already gone is answered by His care. So I will leave it where it landed, in the distance He created, and I will walk in the direction of the life He celebrated. High as the heaven clears the earth, His love clears every claim on me. Far as the sunrise from the sunset, He moved what used to be against me. It is not what I deserved, it is the Father and the child. The weight that is already gone is gone beyond the furthest mile. The weight that is already gone, I will leave it there for good. The healing and the lifting up is everything I understood. Too slowly, but I understand it. He removes and He restores. The weight that is already gone will not find its way back to my door. I have been quick to the conclusion, quick to close the file on myself, put the verdict in the drawer, and leave my grace up on the shelf. But the God who sees me clearly and has seen me all along is not running to the judgment. He is slow, He takes His time, merciful and full of grace, slow to reach the anger, abounding in the patient love that does not make me stranger. Slow to the anger, full of the kindness. The God I was afraid of is not the God I to the mercy, the love that keeps on coming back before I even call it near. He has not repaid me for the failures, not rewarded me the way I feared. And the gap between what I deserved and what arrived is wide and clear. Wide as the sky above the pavement, vast as the horizon line. Slow to the anger is the language of the love that has always been mine. Not counting up the record, not returning with the bill. Slow to the anger and patient with me still. Slow to the anger, abounding in mercy. The love I kept expecting to run out has not run out. Slow to the anger, full of compassion. The love that holds me through the worst is what the morning is about. So I will bring the unfinished version of the person I am today to the God who is not rushing to the end of my story anyway. He knows the frame he put together. He remembers I am dust, and the dust that comes before him finds a love it can trust. Not the hard and the exacting, but the father and the child. Slow to the anger is the gift of a love that has always been mild. Slow to the anger, full of the grace. The God I keep on coming back to is the God who holds this place. Slow to the anger, patient and kind. The love I was afraid to ask for is the love I always find. There is a distance I have never crossed between the place the sun comes up and where it finally disappears. It never ends, it never stops. And into that unmeasurable space, He placed the thing I carried here. Not the forgive and keep a record, but the moved until it disappears. As far as the sunrise from the last light, that is how far He moved it. You cannot walk back to the east from the west to find it. As far as the sunrise is from the sunset, that is where my wrong has gone. He did not file it, He did not keep it. He moved it where it cannot come home. I keep looking for the ledger, but there is no ledger left to find. as far as the sunrise. From the sunset, He moved it from my mind. I keep returning to retrieve it, like it still has to be somewhere. But the one who moved it past the sunrise does not leave it in the somewhere. He moved it to the unreachable. The east will never meet the west, and the walking back to find the record is a walk without a final rest. As far as the morning from the evening, as far as light has ever run, that is how completely He has moved it, and the moving has been done. As far as the sunrise is from the sunset, that is where the weight has gone. He did not hold it, He did not remind me. He moved it on and moved me on. I keep expecting to be handed the evidence of all my old. As far as the sunrise from the sunset, it is gone, and I am whole. So I will stop the long walk backwards to the east I will never reach, and I will live inside the westward of the mercy and the peace. Like the father and the child who is known inside the failing, he looks at the frame He made and finds compassion, not the scaling of the record and the count. The mercy holds from age to age, as far as the sunrise from the sunset is the turning of the page. As far as the sunrise is from the sunset, that is where my weight has flown. He moved it so completely that I cannot call it home. The east and west will never meet each other, and the record will not come. As far as the sunrise from the sunset, He moved it, and I am done. I came to the morning with less than I promised, less than the person I planned to be. And I tried to cover the shortage with motion, but the motion was not fooling me. And there is one who saw the shortage before I dressed it up to leave, who knew the frame before the morning and loves the frame I cannot fix. He knows what we are made of, He has not forgotten we are dust. And the knowing is the mercy, and the mercy is the trust. What we are made of is what He already knew. The cracking and the trying, the ordinary through. He holds the dust together, He tends the fragile frame. What we are made of is what He loves, just the same. The flower in the field is blooming, and the wind will pass and it is gone, and the place will not remember, but the mercy carries on. From the age before the morning to the age that has no end, and the dust that keeps on failing finds a love that does not bend. He knows what we are made of, He remembereth we are dust, and the frame He keeps on tending is the frame He holds in trust. What we are made of, He saw before the start, the limit and the longing, the ordinary heart. He holds the dust with patience, He renews the frame each day. What we are made of is enough for Him to stay. So I will carry what I am able, and set down what I am not, and trust the one who knows me, knows the everything I have got. The days of man are like the grasses, like the wildflower in the field, here and gone before the evening, but the mercy does not yield to the brevity of the living, to the frailty of the frame. What we are made of is still held inside His name. What we are made of, He knew it all along. The dust and all its trying, the weak inside the strong. He holds the frame together, He tends it every day. What we are made of was never in the way. Before I said a word this morning, before I chose the door to take, before the planet found its edges, before the first mistake, you had already read the chapter of the day I had not lived. You knew the thought before I thought it, you knew the thing I would not give. You have searched me and you know me, every sitting down and rising up, every road I walk toward and away from. You have always known enough. Before I said a word, you heard it. Before I moved, you knew the way. Before I formed the first intention, you were already in the day. the path before I walk it. You lie down where I am about to rest, and every word still on my tongue's edge you have already second-guessed. Not to correct, but just to know me. Not to judge, but just to stay. The knowledge is too high to reach, but I am held inside it anyway. Before I said a word, you heard it. Before I woke, you knew the hour. Before I reached the hard conclusion, you were there before the hard. The knowing is too wonderful, too high for me to climb. Before I said a word, you had already given time. So I will live inside the knowing, not the fear of being seen, but the peace of being understood by the one who knows what I mean. Where could I go from this presence if I climbed the highest morning? If I made my bed in the darkest place, you would already be there waiting. The hand that holds the stars in order is the hand that holds me too. Before I said a word, it was already you. Before I said a word, you heard it. Before I rose, you knew the day. Before the first thought found its language, you were already on the way. There is nothing in my story that surprises or undoes. Before I said a word, you already knew. You know the thought before the thought arrives. You know the why behind the why. You know the pause before the sentence. You know the reason I don't try sometimes to put it into language, sometimes to let it stay inside. But the thought before the thought is spoken is the thought you are already beside. Every sitting down, every standing up, every going out and the coming back. You understand the thought before the thought arrives. Before I know the track, the thought before the thought, you are already there. The movement before the movement, you are already aware. I cannot think ahead of you, I cannot find the edge. The thought before the thought is where you live, and I am safe inside that latch. You compass every path I walk on. You know before I choose the left. You know the morning that I rise in. Before I know the breath that I will take to start the sentence. Before sent. The thought before the thought is sitting in a hand I cannot comprehend. The thought before the thought, you understand it. Before it forms, I am already known. The thought before the thought, you are surrounding the place inside me I call home. I cannot outthink the knowing, I cannot get behind the grace. The thought before the thought is where you wait, and I am safe inside that space. So I will stop performing for the knowing, and I will live inside the known. The thought before the thought has told me I was never here alone. You have hemmed me in behind and before me, and laid your hand upon me so. Such knowledge is too wonderful to carry, but I am glad it will not let me go. The thought before the thought, the word before the word, the movement before the movement, all of it was heard. The thought before the thought, you were already there. Before I formed a single morning, you were already in the air. The knowing is too high to measure, but I live inside it still. The thought before the thought is where you keep me, and I find it always will. I have tried the edge of the morning, I have tried the furthest sea, I have tried the room with no windows, where I thought no one could see. And in every room without windows, in every sea and furthest place, I found that someone had arrived there long before I found the space. Where do I go from the presence? Where do I run from the face? There is no such place. Nowhere out of reach, nowhere past the hand that holds the morning stars in order, holds the place where I stand. If I take the wings of the early light and land where the ocean ends, nowhere out of reach is where His hand begins, and where His hand begins is where I am. If I climbed into the highest morning, He is there before the climb. If I went to where the night is thickest. He is there before the time, and the darkness is not dark to him. The night is bright as day, and every room I thought was empty was the room he chose to stay. Nowhere out of reach, nowhere past the love that holds the oceans in their boundaries, holds the light above. Even in the unfamiliar, even in the strange and far, nowhere out of reach is where his presence is, and I am home wherever you are. So I will stop the searching for the outside, for the place beyond the held, and I will live inside the everywhere of the love that cannot be expelled. For you created every corner, every sea and every height. You knew me in the hidden places before I came into the light. And the hand that formed the universe is the hand beneath my days. Nowhere out of reach is all the everywhere of his unchanging ways. Nowhere out of reach, nowhere past the hand that holds the morning stars together, holds the place where I stand. I have run the furthest distances and found you at the end. Nowhere out of reach is everywhere he is, and I am held again. I passed the mirror in the hallway, doing nothing much at all. Just the usual Tuesday inventory, the unremarkable and small. And something stopped me in the passing, something older than the glass. The intricate and the astonishing was looking back at me at last. I will praise you for the making of this ordinary and afraid. The work you did is remarkable, and I nearly looked away. Before the mirror, before the judging, there is a wonder underneath the skin. Before the mirror, before the measuring, there is a maker who has always been. The frame I stand inside of was not an accident or chance. Before the mirror there is craftsmanship, and I am grateful for this dance. The substance was not hidden when it was shaped in the unknown. Every day was written in the story before the story had been shown to the world and all its measuring, to the room and all its scale. Before the mirror is the maker, and the making does not fail. Before the mirror, before the verdict, there is a craftsman and a plan. Before the mirror, before the comparison, there is the love of the great I am. The body that I carry was made with care before my name. Before the mirror there is astonishment, and I will never see it the same. So I will take this ordinary Tuesday and the frame that came along for it, and I will find the workmanship within it and be grateful for the gift. How many thoughts you had before me, more than the sand of every shore. And when I wake you think the same, the before me and the made me, and the every thought of me. Before the mirror there is a wonder, and the wonder sets me free. Before the mirror, before the verdict, there is a maker who is pleased. Before the mirror, before the measuring, there is a wonder to be seized. And I will walk into the morning with the knowing of the made. Before the mirror there is craftsmanship, and I am no longer afraid. I tried once to count the grains of sand along a stretch of ordinary shore, and I gave up before the first foot passed, and there were miles and miles more. And the number of the thoughts he has of me is more than every grain of every beach, more than the total of the morning stars, more than everything within my reach. How precious are the thoughts, how great the sum of them. If I should count them, they would never have an end. More than the sand is how many times he thought of me. More than the ocean is the weight of what he sees when he turns his mind toward the ordinary of my name. More than the sand, and when I wake, he is still thinking of me just the same. Not the casual and the passing, not the once and moving on, but the deep and the considered of a love that will not be gone by the Tuesday or the stumbling, by the ordinary fail. More than the sand is the thinking of a love that will not pale. More than the sand is the love that thinks of me. More than the stars that I cannot count or see. When I fall asleep, he is thinking. When I wake, he has not stopped. More than the sand is the love, and the love is what I have got. So when the morning comes uncertain, and I cannot find the ground, I will remember there is someone whose thoughts of me still sound through the quiet and the early. Search me and know me, try me and see if there is any way inside me walking away from free. And lead me in the everlasting, in the way that has no end. More than the sand is the love that thinks of me, and will always think again. More than the sand is how often he thought of me. More than the shoreline of every single sea. From before the day I started to the day I will not see. More than the sand is the love, and the love is still thinking of me. I used to measure what I had against the longer list of what I lacked, and I kept the running total, and the total kept me back from the seeing of the given, from the noticing the lines that had fallen into places more pleasant than I realized. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. The lines have fallen into pleasant places, and the goodly cup is up. The best inheritance is not the one the world is counting. The best inheritance is the one who holds the mountain. I have a goodly heritage, I have pleasant lines. The best inheritance is the portion that is mine, and the portion is the Lord. I have been comparing my lot with the lot of those around me, but the lines that fell around me are the lines that finally found me, grateful and astonished at the goodly and the given. The best inheritance is the life I have been living. The Lord maintains my lot, He is always at my right. The lines have fallen pleasantly, and the morning fills with light. The best inheritance is not the house or the acre. The best inheritance is the presence of the Maker. I have a goodly heritage in the places I call mine. The best inheritance is the portion and the line, and the portion is the Lord. So I will stop the calculating of the portion I do not own, and receive the goodly portion of the life I have been shown. I have set the Lord before me, He is always at my right. I will not be moved or shaken in the morning or the night. My heart is glad, my soul rejoices, and my body finds its rest. The best inheritance is the Lord, and the Lord has given best. The best inheritance is not the counted and the kept. The best inheritance is the love that never left. I have a goodly heritage blessed inheritance is the portion that is mine, and the portion is the Lord. I have been at the fork of it more mornings than I can recall, looking left then looking right then, standing still and missing all. The moving of the one who shows it, the gentle and the clear reveal of the path that opens forward when I finally learn to feel the direction of the presence, the warmth of the right hand near, the path that opens forward when I learn that He is here. You will show me the path of life. In your presence fullness waits at your right hand. There are pleasures beyond the gate. The path that opens is the path He shows, not the one I mapped in the morning, but the one the presence knows. In your presence there is fullness, at your right hand there is more. The path that opens is the one I never saw before, and it is good. I have tried the path of the certain, of the planned and the controlled, but the certain always narrows and the plan begins to fold. And the path that keeps on opening is the one I cannot see until I take the step into the presence, and the presence walks with me. The path that opens is not mine to claim. It is the gift of walking in the presence of the everlasting name. In your presence there is fullness, at your right hand pleasures stay. The path that opens is the one you show, and I will walk it every day. So I will not presume the path or chart the way before the time. I will wait for the revealing of the path that is alive. I have set the Lord before me, always at my right. I shall not be moved or shaken in the dark or in the light. My heart is glad the path is opening, and the opening is good. The path that opens is the path the presence always said it would. The path that opens is the one He shows, not the one I chose alone, but the one the presence knows. In your presence there is fullness, at your right hand joy remains. The path that opens is the one I walk into the just come and try it for myself and see that the goodness was not a theory, but the thing that happened to me. When I stopped the long describing of the goodness I had heard about, and I took the step into the tasting, and the tasting cleared the doubt. Come and taste, come and find the Lord is good, and not behind the asking. Come and taste, the goodness is not the concept but the living. Taste and find that He is good. Do not take my word for it. Taste and find that He is good. Come and be a part of it. The one who makes the Lord the shelter, the one who runs to Him will know. Taste and find that He is good, and finding good is how you grow. I have spent a long time recommending the goodness to the ones around, but the most persuasive thing I offered was not the argument but the found look of the one who found it for themselves, who came and tasted and believed. Taste and find that He is good is not a doctrine, it is received. Taste and find that He is good. You do not need my testimony. Taste and find that He is good, and make the finding your own story. The one who makes the Lord their shelter will not be left out in the cold. Taste and find that He is good, and the finding will not grow old. So I will stop the long persuading, and I will live the tasted life, and the living will be louder than the argument and the strife. The young lions may go hungry, but the ones who seek the Lord will not want for any good thing. It is the oldest word. Come and hear, I will teach you the fear that opens every door. Taste and find that He is good, and there is always, always more. Taste and find that He is good, not the argument but the actual. Taste and find that He is good, not the theoretical but the factual. The one who makes the Lord their shelter will never flee. Taste and find that He is good, and the finding will set you free. I did not need someone to explain it, from the high and from the far. I needed someone close enough to catch me in the falling where things are. Not the distant and the theoretical, not the concept in the sky, but the God who comes down to the broken and decides to stay nearby. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted, and He saves the crushed in spirit, who have started to believe that no one hears them. He is close enough to catch, close enough to catch before the all the way down, close enough to hear the sound beneath the sound. The Lord is near to those whose hearts are in the break. before the fall is done, it's taking. Many are the hard things of the faithful. I have counted mine on Tuesday nights, but the Lord is in the rescue business, and the rescue comes before the lights go all the way out, before the last bone breaks. Close enough to catch is how He operates. Close enough to catch before the story ends in loss. Close enough to hold the weight before it costs. The Lord is near to those whose spirits have been shattered. Close enough to catch, and everything that mattered is in the hands of the one who came close. So I will bring the broken pieces, not the fixed and the presented, but the actual and the fractured, and I will find I am attended. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and His ears are open to the cry. He is not distant from the darkness, He does not pass the broken by. They cried, and He heard them, and He delivered them from fear. Close enough to catch is not a metaphor. He is here. Close enough to catch before the fall is finished falling. Close enough to hear the prayer that is barely calling. The Lord is near to those whose hearts are in the breaking. Close enough to catch, and close enough to start the remaking. There is a longing with no address that arrives before I have a word, a reaching toward the place where the soul was always heard. Not the building and the program, not the schedule and the row, but the presence and the nearness that the longing wants to know. How beautiful the dwelling, how lovely is the place where the soul finds its belonging in the nearness of the face. How beautiful the dwelling, O Lord of everything. My soul longs and nearly faints for the courts where you are King. My heart and all that is in me cries out for the living God. How beautiful the dwelling, and the longing is the road. My heart and all that moves it cries out for the place where life begins. Not the weekly and the scheduled, but the always and the in. Between the present and the waiting of the wanting to be near. How beautiful the dwelling is the prayer of Blessed are the ones who dwell there, who are always at the door, who have found the everyday belonging of the one who wants no more. Even the sparrow finds the altar, even the swallow finds the nest, and the smallest of the searching finds the dwelling is the best. Oh God, my King, my fortress, look upon the upturned face. How beautiful the dwelling, and how beautiful the grace. How beautiful the dwelling, how lovely is the Lord. My soul longs and nearly faints for the nearness and the word. My heart and all that is in me cries out for the living God. How beautiful the dwelling, and the longing is the road home. I have been the one who did not fit in the rooms that seemed to want me less, and the spaces where belonging was a complicated kind of yes. But the sparrow did not audition, and the swallow did not plead. Even the small ones find the altar, even the smallest has what it needs. Even the sparrow has found the house, even the swallow the nest for the young. Even at the altar, even the small ones, even the barely begun. Even the small ones find a home here, even the overlooked belong. Even the sparrow at the altar has a place and has a song. My King, my God, even the smallest matters, even the 2 for a coin. Even the small ones find a home here, and I am welcome to join. I am sometimes like the sparrow, unremarkable in passing through, and the rooms that did not want me were not the only room I knew, because the altar has a different kind of welcome at the door. Even the small ones find the nesting, and they need not ask for more. Even the small ones find a home here, even the forgotten have a place. Even the sparrow who is nesting at the altar of the grace. My King, my God, even the tiniest is welcome, even the one who feels too small. Even the small ones find a home here, and I was welcomed after all. So I will bring my sparrow self to the altar and the belonging, and I will find the welcome that has always been the longing. Blessed are the ones who dwell here, who have found the place to be. And even the sparrow in the altar has found what it means to be free. My King, my God, my shelter, my dwelling and my door. Even the small ones find a home here, and the door is always open more. Even the small ones find a home here. Even the sparrow finds the nest. Even the overlooked and passing are received inside the best. My King, my God, even the tiniest belongs here. Even the song I barely sing, even the small ones find a home here. And the home holds everything. I had 1,000 options, all arranged before the week. The impressive and the platform and the recognition that I seek, or the threshold of the house where the presence never leaves. And the choosing of the better was the hardest and the freed. One good day in the courts is better than 1,000 in the rooms I chose for status, in the platforms where I counted. One good day, just one good day in the nearness of the presence is better than the long and proud parade of 1,000 days of striving for the name and for the place. One good day in the courts of the living God is worth 1,000 and the race. For the Lord God is the sunlight and the shield before the storm, and He gives the grace and glory to the one who walks the form of the upright and the present, and no good thing held from them. One good day in the courts is worth 1,000 in the hem. One good day, just one good day, close to the one who holds the morning, is better than the calendar display of 1,000 days of running toward the things that never last. One good day in the courts of the living God is better than the grandest past. So I will choose the ordinary of the threshold and the near, and I will find the one good day has always been the thing I fear. Losing most in all the choosing of the platform over presence. One good day in the courts of the living God is the highest kind of lesson. The Lord will give the grace and glory. No good thing will be withheld from the one who walks in the upright, from the one who chooses well. One good day over the 1,000 is the wisdom of the soul. One good day in the courts of the living God is the day that makes me whole. One good day, just one good day in the presence is enough to make the 1,000 others pale. One good day close to the living God is better than the scale of all the days I spent performing. One good day in the courts, and I am home. I have been afraid to ask for the things I thought too large, as if the asking were presumptuous, as if I had no charge to bring the full request before Him and expect the full reply. But nothing good is held back from me, and I have been afraid to try. The Lord God is the sun and shield. He gives the grace and He gives the glory. No good thing will He withhold from the one who walks His story. Nothing held back, nothing good withheld from the one who walks inside the uprightness He tells. The Lord God is the sun and shield, the light before the dark. Nothing held back from the one who trusts and brings the open heart. The one who walks the honest road will find the table has been set with everything the honest road requires, and nothing good has been kept yet. In reserve behind the asking, in a warehouse locked away, nothing held back is the promise of the day. Nothing held back, nothing good withheld. The grace and glory given to the heart that has been held by the Lord, who is the sunlight and the shelter from the storm. Nothing held back from the one who comes and keeps the heart kept warm. So I will ask without the shrinking, and I will trust without the fear. Nothing good is held back from me, and the good is always near. How lovely is the dwelling, how beautiful the day, when the Lord God is the sunlight and no good thing kept away. Nothing held back is the oldest of the promises. Nothing held back is the news. Nothing held back from the one who runs toward the courts and trusts the one who always chooses. Nothing held back, nothing good withheld. The Lord God is the sun and shield, and His hand is open held toward the one who comes believing, toward the one who dares to ask. Nothing held back is the love, and the love is up to the task. I have been in the shadow of the waiting, in the gray of the unresolved, and the darkness of the wind. Will it be better? Had not yet been solved. but I found the ancient language for the light above the shadow. The Lord God is the sun that never sets, and the sun drives out the shadow. The Lord God is a sun and shield. He gives the grace and He gives the glory, and the one who walks beside the sun is never left to the sorry. The sun that does not set is the one who lights the way. The shield that does not leave me is beside me through the day. The Lord God is the sun and shield, the light before the fear. The sun that does not set is the love that keeps me here. The sun does not decide to stop the shining for the one who needs the light, and the shield does not retire at the evening. It is there throughout the night. The Lord God is the sun and shield, and both are always given to the one who walks the honest road and keeps the heart that has striven. The sun that does not set is the one who guards the way. The shield that stays beside me is the grace of every day. The Lord God is the sun and shield, the warmth before the cold. The sun that does not set is the love that will not fold. So I will walk inside the sunlight of the grace that does not end, and I will trust the shield beside me around every coming bend. How lovely is the dwelling, how beautiful the place, where the sun that does not set is the warmth upon the face. Blessed is the one who trusts in the sun and in the shield. The sun that does not set is the love that will never yield. The sun that does not set is the one who lights my way. The shield that stays beside me is the grace of every ordinary day. The Lord God is the sun and shield, the warmth before the cold. The sun that does not set is the love, and the love will not grow I have been to all the resting places that the world said would be enough. The weekend and the getaway, the choir when the week gets tough. And I rested for a season, and I carried it a while. But the resting never lasted past the first returning mile. How lovely is the dwelling, how lovely is the place where the soul finds the resting in the nearness of the face. My soul finds rest not in the getting away. My soul finds rest in the presence of the day. In the courts of the living God, in the dwelling of the near, my soul finds rest, and the rest is always here. The courts of the living God are not a location I can drive to. They are the turning of the face toward the one I keep arriving to. In the ordinary morning, in the Tuesday and the gray, my soul finds rest. In the presence of the day, my soul finds rest. Not in the quiet of the holiday. My soul finds rest in the one who made the day. In the dwelling of the presence, in the nearness of the known, my soul finds rest, and the rest means I am home. So I will end the searching for the rest that does not last, and I will find the living rest of the one who holds the past and the present and the coming. In the nearness of his name, my soul finds rest, and the rest is always, always coming to reclaim me. Blessed are the ones who dwell there, who have found the resting place, and the soul that longs for nearness will be found inside the grace of the God who is the dwelling, of the God who is the rest. My soul finds rest in the courts of the Lord, and the courts are always best. My soul finds rest in the far